Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad, brought to you by OU Health. And now, here's your host, Abbi Bennett.
Thanks for tuning in to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm Abbi Bennett. And standing next to me, you've seen them before, our analysts, Ben Thomas and Shannon Ehrhardt. Now, Shannon, do you want to tell us who's in our audience tonight?
We have so many people in our audience tonight. We have CAC, friends, and family. I know there's somebody very special for you here today.
Yes, I want to give a special shout out to my lovely family who came to join us. But that's not the only special members in our audience, Ben.
Yeah, that's right. They will be cheering on two members from our number 3 ranked women's tennis team, Ivana Corley and Emma Staker.
Now, looking down the road of our show, our very own Ashley Van De Velde was at the LNC to get on all the action of our huge women's gym win over Michigan. Plus, we will hear what women's tennis has been up to.
Yeah, not only that, it's March, and you guys know what that means. March Madness, baby!
Yes,
Ben and I will give you some hot takes for the Final Four.
And we had 11 Sooners in Indianapolis at the Combine, and Shannon and I will break down which ones stood out over the weekend.
Now, the Big 12 Wrestling Championship was up in Tulsa on Sunday, and our Sooners came in second overall. They came out with a score of 113, right behind Missouri, and not to mention 9 Sooners punched their ticket to the NCAA Championships in Detroit, more than any school in the conference. Redshirt freshman Willie McDougald wrestled his way to second place, in his first career postseason. Joey Prada finished in 4th place after a close match and lost his lead in the final seconds of the 3rd place match. And Tawny Madrigal and Jacob Butler notched the 6th place spot. Butler had an impressive weekend, going from unseeded all the way to an NCAA qualifier. And I also wanted to mention that softball had their very first home opener this afternoon, winning 9-1, and Aloe has walked 13 times since she broke the record.
Abby, by the way, Aloe's been walked 17 times, 13 of those been since she's tied the record of Lauren Chamberlain for the home runs. Insane.
It's crazy. I mean, we've just been bragging on these spring sports all semester long. They're just blowing it out of the water. So Shannon and Ben, tell me who you think your Sooner standout team of the week is.
My Sooner standout team of the week comes from the number 1 ranked men's golf team after they swept the competition at the Southern Highlands Collegiate Tournament this past week. And the boys finished the tournament shooting a total of 38 under par. That's beating number 5 Pepperdine, who finished in 2nd place. They beat 2nd place by 7 strokes. Now it's their 3rd consecutive win, becoming just the 3rd program in NCAA history to win 3 straight tournaments. Senior Patrick Welch notched his 2nd career victory, posting a score of 14 under and led the field with 19 birdies in the week. But teammates Drew Goodman and Logan McAllister also finished in the top 10 to help seal that victory for the Sooners. Now their next tournament is until March 18th and 19th in Arizona, where I think they'll be going for their 4th straight win, and I think they'll get it as well. But this team is electric. They've been on fire all year, and I mean, number 1 ranked, dominating competition. That sounds like natty to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's natty season. So I definitely think they can make a run for it.
It's definitely natty season, Ben. But there's another team that I want to highlight who's also number 1, and that's women's gymnastics. They beat number 1 Michigan, and they absolutely deserve that spot of number 1 in women's gymnastics. It was senior night in their last regular season home game. You guys, if you were there, you know the Lloyd Noble Center was electric. 7,500 people there watching, and that's when Jordan Bowers actually got her first perfect 10 of her career on vault. The atmosphere at Lloyd Noble, like I said, was instrumental. The enthusiasm from the team showed, and they had record bars performances. They stuck every single landing. The squad's confidence was evident, and that fed their momentum. Now they posted back-to-back scores of 198 plus on the weekend, faced Texas Women's Air Force and SEMO on Sunday. No problem at all after beating the number 1 team.
That's easy.
They swept them, and now at least 2 Sooners are ranked on every single event. And Audrey Davis is ranked number 9 in the country for the all-around, and that she's competing at a caliber that we have not seen so far from a sophomore this season. She's doing outstanding, and so is the women's gymnastics team, and they gave Michigan a run for their money, the reigning champions.
Yeah, They definitely did. I know I was in that LNC, and that was rocking, and they just put on a total dominating performance. It was awesome to watch. Definitely deserving that #1 ranking.
Yes, for sure. Now, Shannon, you just talked about women's gym, and sadly, the college gymnastics season is coming to an end. But Ben and Shannon, do you want to tell me who was at the LNC covering all the action over the weekend?
Well, Ben, Abby, and I, we were all at the LNC, but there was also somebody else who got to cover the last regular game of the season, like I mentioned.
Yeah, Sooner Sports Pad's Ashley Van De Velde got to go to the meet and has a little recap.
It was a standout senior meet for the #2 Oklahoma Sooners as #1 Michigan marched into town to see if they could top Oklahoma. But the Sooners came out on top in every event and finished with the win. Jordan Bowers led with a perfect 10 on vault, and the Crimson and Cream broke a program record of 49.825 on bars. Freshman Danae Fletcher performed a career high on floor of 9.975. KJ Kindler announced at the end of the meet that the first 3 rounds of NCAA regionals will be held right here at the Lloyd Noble Center, and that seniors Olivia Troutman and Allie Stern will be returning next season. Ashley Van De Velde, Sooner Sports Pad.
Now stay right where you are, because when we come back, we're talking about all women's tennis and their most recent sweep against Illinois. Plus, we might just be hearing from 2 members on the tennis squad. Stick around.
That is brought to you by OU Health. The future of health is here. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Thanks to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health and Anheuser-Busch, and our community partners, Fowler Auto Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola.
The women's tennis team tallied their 7th sweep of the season, and while they're celebrating their success, Addie Crawford tells us that they're also coming together to support one of their teammates in her home country.
The OU women's tennis team is now on a 3-match winning streak after taking down Illinois. And the secret to the team's success goes beyond just physicality.
We've been really emphasizing body language and failure response, and I think we've been working on that all week. And I think just bringing that, along with our tennis, we say tennis is 80% mental. So if you're bringing the mental part, then, you take pressure off of your tennis and you can just enjoy playing.
But this match meant a little more than the others with its dedication to supporting Ukraine.
We've had past teammates and current teammates from Ukraine, and I think it's been really important to just show our support in whatever way we can. I think there's been a lot of things happening within the last couple of years where we've asked for support from our teammates, and we received it. So in general, for all of us, it was really important that we make sure we continue to show our support and show how much we care about them off the court as well as on the court.
The Crimson and Cream will continue their 6-match homestand series, an undefeated record at home, against the Kansas Jayhawks on Friday at Henington Family Tennis Center. Addie Crawford, Sooner Sports Pad.
Now let's welcome to the show 2 members on the women's tennis team who are crushing it on the court, Ivana Corley and Emma Staker.
How you doing, guys? How's it going? How have you guys been?
Great.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a winning team, so you can't complain, right?
Life's probably pretty good, right?
Yeah, not much to complain about, that's for sure.
Definitely. Now, so you guys are currently ranked #3, and you have been as high as #2 in the rankings, which is the highest in program history. What has been your team's biggest strength to get you to that point?
Yeah, one thing that we definitely emphasize in our program is energy and unity within our team. So carrying that to every match has been really beneficial for us.
Yeah, I think we've all been just working hard on supporting each other in every moment that we can, and I think that really shows when we go out and play our matches.
And Ivana, now it's your final season, a little bit bittersweet, and like Ben mentioned, you're at the highest ranked you've been in program history, and not to mention you're playing with your sister. What's it been like?
Kind of surreal, honestly. I think since I came here as a freshman, we've had a lot of things to improve, and I think the team has come a long way since I've since I started here. And so I think maybe right now it's not all hitting me yet. But I think as the season goes on, I'm just trying to be grateful for every moment and really staying in the present.
So now you guys have been dominating play up to this point of the season. The season's still far from over. How can you guys continue that level of play heading into the Big 12 and even NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think kind of what you guys said earlier, winning's not really much to complain about, but I think something we've been trying to emphasize is that winning can kind of blind you. So I think we're trying to really stay focused and not get ahead of ourselves, because like you said, there's still a lot of season ahead and anything can happen.
Yeah, we're definitely still aware that, there's still a lot of work to be done, so just carrying that into Big 12 play now.
And that's going to be super exciting as well. Emma, you're a freshman, your first season as a Sooner. What's been the biggest differences you've seen from week 1 until now?
Yeah, it's how we've been able to come together as a team. In the fall, we've definitely had some tough days and tough practices, especially for me as a freshman. So I've just taken everything that I learned in the fall and really applied it this season, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, one more question, a little more of a fun one now. If you could play in one professional tournament, what would it be and why?
Yeah, you got to give us something.
My dream one is U.S. Open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think being under the lights, and I've never been to New York, so maybe one day that'll be my reason to go to New York. But for me, for sure, U.S. Open.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree. I mean, I would like to say the French Open, but I can't really play on clay that well. So I'll stick to hard court. So we'll say the U.S. Open.
It's like the American dream, right, for any tennis
exactly.
player.
Not
Exactly.
Wimbledon? Wimbledon's not one of them?
I mean, it is, but just maybe it would be my second on the list.
Yeah.
Gotcha, all right.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Great having you here, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yes, thank you.
And also the best of luck on the rest of your season. But stay right where you are, because when we come back, it's Faceoff time. Welcome back. It is time for Faceoff, so let's get right into it. Now, Ben and Shannon, we know that March Madness is creeping up on us, but sadly, by the time we have our next show, it'll already be the Elite Eight. But let's hear it. Who are y'all predicting for your Final Four in this year? Tournament.
Love that
Very
question.
tough year to pick Final Fours. But if I had to pick one, I would go with Texas Tech, Illinois, Providence, and Duke. Now, I'm only going to highlight a couple of these teams. One of those teams definitely is Illinois. Shout out to my mom for that Illinois pick. But right now, there is not a more dominant player in college basketball than center Kofi Cockburn, who is averaging a double-double this year and just led Illinois to a co-Big Ten championship. And then another team I'm going to highlight real fast is Duke. It's the GOAT, Coach K's final year. We would love to see him win a national championship. Icing on the cake, cherry on top to that Hall of Fame career. So I got to go with Duke as well in there.
Those are a lot of great picks, Ben, but Providence, you got to tell me, why is Providence up there?
A very sneaky team. They were projected to be a 4 seed, pretty sneaky, very sound on both ends of the floor. Their offense getting a little stagnant, but usually they can play a really sound defense, and they can beat any team in the country.
But
As
are
long
they
as you
sneaky
can-
enough is the real question.
Well, anything can happen in March, so
Okay.
we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I'll give you that.
Let's see.
That's a good point. Ben, I like your answers. I got to completely disagree.
Yeah,
I
change 'em
got
up,
to say
change it
my
up,
Final
change it
Four, Arizona, Gonzaga, Baylor, and Purdue. Put them up there. Arizona is the hottest team in the nation right now. They've been doing phenomenal with Tommy Lloyd, and Tommy Lloyd is leading a high-caliber team, and that team is having one of the most complete performances I've seen from a top team all season, especially with that transition defense. Now, another one I want to argue is Purdue. I think they're going to flex early. We know that they have that defensive ability, and if they can keep opposing ball handlers out of the lane and utilize 7'4" Zach Edey with a block, I think they can beat just about anyone. Those other two, the Zags and the Bears, I think that's a given.
Yeah, I like a couple of those picks. Purdue, I like that little sneaky dark horse.
I think dark
Arizona,
horse.
though, kind of known for choking in March Madness. You think? Hey, wait, no. Do you think this is their year? Do you think this is their year? Because they have looked really good. I agree.
100% think this is their year, and that's because they're under the regime of Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd has turned this team around, and they actually have a lot of veteran players on that team with Koloko and Mathurin. I think Arizona is going to do extremely well, and possibly, maybe way too early of a pick, but possibly win it all.
Oh, okay.
That's a hot take, Shannon.
That's not. It could be a hot take, but that's not bad. Not bad. All right.
Okay, let's keep this thing going. Now, we also know the NFL Combine is happening, and there also happen to be 11 Sooners right now on the offensive and defensive end. So, Shannon and Ben, who's standing out to you right now on the Combine?
The fact that there's 11 Sooners alone just blows my mind, but I have to give my love to Nick Bonito. You guys, Nick Bonito is my guy, and he has been superb in the Combine, showing out on all levels. Now, he ran a 4.45 40, excuse me, the numbers. And I like to see a big man run fast. He's turned heads, and I think there's so much potential that he can work with here and that teams can work with him. Now, he still has his trademark burst and speed, and he crushed the agility drills. Now, we know that he can create space and shed blocks, and he's coming off a very impressive senior season. He wowed at the Combine. I think the Steelers, the Patriots would be lucky to have him. And on the Steelers with TJ Watt, that combo could be dangerous. He's a first-round talent for sure, and if he doesn't get drafted in the first round, I think that's going to be a huge mistake for a lot of NFL teams.
Yeah, I've seen him on a lot of draft projections going in that first round, and just like you mentioned, at that speed, he was flying off that line all year for the Sooners.
I love to see it. One of the fastest pass rushers we saw out of the entire draft in the top 5.
Definitely. Now, another guy on that defense that I want to talk about is the linebacker, Brian Asamoah. He also had a really great performance at the NFL Combine over the weekend. Posted a 4.56 40-yard dash, and he had a 36.5-inch vertical, 124-inch broad jump. Now, he registered in at 6 feet, 226 pounds, and at that size, that man can fly. We saw it at Owen Field all last season, dominating, being a tough, hard-hitting defender. I mean, look at that face. Yeah, I know. Come on, look at that face. That's a mean mug running at you right there. Yeah, he's looked determined. Now, obviously, probably not a first-round pick like Bonito by any means. But, hey, a late second round, early third round, I mean, any team would be lucky to add this guy to their linebacking group. And I think a team is going to be very happy when they draft Brian Asamoah. That speed. I
agree. I would rather be caught dead than see that running at me. And also, I think both of those guys are extremely comfortable in their own skin. And we saw that at the Combine as well with the other 9 Sooners who performed so well for Oklahoma.
Yeah, IT, Perrion, Kennedy Brooks even had a great week as well.
All of them are just crushing it. It's so exciting to watch. But now moving on, our last segment, give me y'all's viral videos.
All right, everybody's favorite segment. Now, we just got finished talking about the Combine. I'm going to go right back to the Combine. He's fresh off of his Senior Bowl MVP, and that's Perrion Winfrey. He was running the 40-yard dash at the Combine, blazing fast, by the way, and so fast he even broke something while he was running.
Oh, what did he
break?
break?
But it's not a record. If the video would come up, but yep. All right, here we go. There we go. Look at that man. First of all, look at that. Another mean mug running at you. But that chain, that gold chain, running so fast, breaks, hops right off as he was running. Oh my gosh. He ran a 4.8940 at 6'4", 301 pounds. Are you kidding me? And if that dude is running at me, I know Brock Purdy knows this very well, I would be terrified. That is for sure.
Perrion is the size of a refrigerator. He is huge. And the fact that he can run that fast is scary.
Plus, I mean, he might have just worked his way into the first round. He might get enough money to buy a new chain. I think he'll be able to get a new chain. I hope he does.
You're probably right. I have to go with basketball here. Now, OKC Thunder played the Wolves on Friday, and it was a blowout game. The Wolves won, but something really funny happened. If you didn't see it on Twitter, take a look here.
How quick you have to make decisions defensively. As McLaughlin, he got blocked by the cleanup crew on the floor, missed the shot, and Waters cleans up the miss.
Jordan McLaughlin tries to go in for a layup. The OKC cleaning crew was on the floor at the same time. I spent so long laughing at that. Look at that textbook defense by OKC. That's some of the best defense I've seen all year, and that's definitely, I think that was the highlight of the whole game. I watched it over a million times.
They're going to use those guys.
They had that, they got those big bodies, I guess. They just kind of didn't know what was going on.
The score might have not been a blowout if those guys were out there, 20 minutes.
Seriously.
Okay,
audience, now now it is your time to vote for who you think the face-off winner is. If you think it's Ben, let's hear it. Okay, you have some fans. You have some fans.
I don't think so.
Okay, if you think Shannon's taking this one home, let's hear it.
Yay!
I got it later. I got it later. I got it in the draft. I got it in the
My
draft.
first win!
Shannon's first
I got it in the
face-off
draft.
win.
I got it in the draft.
But stay right where you are, because when we come back, I'll give you all the Sooner sports coming up. Plus, I'm just going to tell you about this week's draft segment. Men's basketball will host the number 3 Baylor Bears on Thursday with a 6 p.m. tip-off. Softball is headed to Hawaii for the Rainbow Wahine Classic and will play Baylor on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And track and field is headed to the NCAA Indoor Championships on Friday. Now, for this week's draft segment, we know that spring break is coming up. There's those who are traveling, but also those who are staying at home and, surfing Netflix and Hulu. So I want to know, what top 3 binge-worthy shows are you drafting?
All right. My first draft pick, I think Ivana likes this one. Give me New Girl, you guys. Such a good show. You gotta love it.
Yeah. All right, my number 1 pick, give me Friends. An all-time classic. Pretty good.
Okay, have any of you guys seen, I know my girl MC, Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Such a good show. My number 2.
I'm going to go with How I Met Your Mother. A classic, my personal favorite.
And my last one, Grey's Anatomy here. Good show. It pulls at the heartstrings.
Definitely, but I'm going to give me The Office. The final one. There we go. That's mine.
Okay.
Fans of that one.
I think we have different tastes, but
It's pretty good.
I like mine.
I liked all of y'all's picks.
I've watched all of those.
But thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Sooner Sports Pack. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. Have a great night.